the light, everyone. I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, he's a pepper, we some peppers. Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too? And these are my wolf brothers.
Jeremy, you first.
Oh, I've always been a pepper.
Well, I will be your Jackson Brown Sedai.
We can't hear
or,
anything.
if you prefer, really? Can't hear nothing?
There you go.
Or I could be your Dr. My Eyes Sedai, if you will. Your choice.
Great song, too.
Good song. Very good song.
Fantastic. I am your picking up a very delayed headphones. So if I start to drift, it's because I'm listening to myself.
I hate that.
I'm not drunk. I swear to God. I just have a delay.
But yeah, you're not like Justin. Justin was drunk on his last episode, and I gave him an extra slur.
Did you?
It wasn't my fault. It's technology.
Okay, because I was like, dude, I sound fucking trash. And I was like, I don't think I was like drunk.
Yeah, there's this new thing I got, and when it works well,
it was that day when we were. It was the end of that night when we were struggling. You know that my modem actually died that night or the next day.
Oh, did it?
So we were lucky that we got through that at all. I had to go get a new one like the next day.
Nice.
I noticed that I was like hitting the table big time in the last podcast, too. Like,
I know. I thought it was me punching my mic, and I was
No,
like,
it was
wait,
me.
that's Jeremy punching the table.
That was me hitting the table. I was playing the drums on the table.
I thought it was me because I even texted Des. I'm like, could I punch my mic more? And he's like, well, probably. But I was like, wait, it actually wasn't me. It was Jeremy. I figured out at the end it was you because you were talking, and every time it was like, boom, like you were accentuating a point. I'm like, oh, that's Jeremy. That's not me.
Totally was.
For once.
I'm going to wear mittens. Well, should we do news up front? Because I only say that because it's timely. It's timely news.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to get to some news right now. Tune in next week when we talk about Chapter 25. Question. We're going to learn some stuff, folks. I am going to learn what I've been being spoiled on for the last year.
I'll be reminded of all the stuff.
This is for Justin, and this is for the listeners. I'm going to start. I don't want to say I'm going to cut these podcasts short because the podcasts are going to be plenty long enough, but I'm going to keep them from going too long anymore because I thought about it today. I was like, we have on the conservative side, we have 300 of these left. So if we miss a point or two on this show, we will get to it.
Yes.
I like Jeremy's eyes just doing that math. Just like, wait, like 0-0?
Yeah, you're right. You're
Till
totally
we're
right.
50 at least.
And that's 300 more.
More than this one.
We've already got a solid base.
So we did 23 was the one that Jeremy jumped in on late, right? Was chapter 23?
Mm-hmm.
Good. So I have 0 notes on this because I did not listen to it because I thought we were doing 23. So I'm an asshole.
It's okay. It's not like you've never heard this before.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you're right. Do we need to do 23?
I thought 23 was the rings.
Well, 22 is officially the rings.
And then it's right after.
I think we went over. If we didn't go over in our snippet, we definitely, I feel like we talked about 23. What
I was going to say is all my notes, I feel like we hit already. So maybe
I have a quick, what's the word I'm looking for? Hold on. We made a mistake and I need to fix it.
Correction.
That's the word I'm looking for. I have a quick correction.
Yes.
So we were talking about, do you remember the gray man that shot the arrow at Gwen and almost hit her?
Yes.
And then they trapped him and then they came back to him and he had a knife sticking out of him. And we were trying to figure out what happened. It's actually explained later in the books. It was Isom Luke that killed him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Slayer kills him.
I did not know that. When is it?
So I don't remember what book it's in, but I just got this new book. It's the Wheel of Time Compendium.
Yeah.
And you can look up, it's pretty much the back of the books where they have all of the explanations of how you pronounce things, the people, the explanations of if you wanted to look up Avienda, it would give a little blurb and how to say her name. This is an entire book.
I have that book.
You have that book too? Yeah, it's an entire book of that. And you can just basically reference anything at any time. And there's a lot more explanation to it too.
I have the app, the Wote Compendium app.
Nice.
The app? There's an app?
Yeah, I was just looking at it because I was like, that sounds vaguely familiar. And it's actually called the Wote Compendium. And what's cool about it, if you look up a character, you can pick what book you look things up in.
Ooh.
So if I look up a character in book 4, it won't spoil me with that character for book 10.
How do we not have
It'll
this?
only tell me.
Oh, I don't know. I'm downloading it later tonight.
I've had it for a
Well,
year.
thanks for
and I
never
just-
telling us.
Wow.
Asshole.
Just wow.
wow.
It's like, I've had it for a year and I've kept it as a total, secret. I didn't want you guys to know.
Disappointed dad head shake.
Because like 9 times out of 10, you guys tell me what it would have told me. But, especially if I'm looking
Slightly wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more like 5 out of 10, and then we might be wrong.
Mostly correct with some stuff that's really fucked up.
Exactly.
You'll be all right. Our show's mostly satire.
I think it's just characters. I don't know if your compendium has places
It does.
or
Yeah.
things
It's
too.
got and it'll talks about terangrials and stuff like that. So I've actually had that for a while and haven't just read through it. I just have looked up a few things.
It's not something you just crack open and read from start to finish.
Let me do this. Dictionary.
Yeah.
So, Justin, you know why we're a little fucked up? Because we jumped forward and did 24. Then we went back and did 22 and 23.
That'll do it.
Because remember, we wanted to do the 2 Egwene pieces together. And that's another thing, too. This is a note to you guys and to the listener. I think for good reason, my book sections were long in the last 2 episodes, but I'm going to kind of start cutting those down, too. And just everyone at home know we're basically
Right.
discussing the whole chapter.
Well, it's like you said to me. It's a frame of reference.
Yeah.
And then you can listen to it.
So everyone out there, if I play a 2-minute clip and then we talk about nothing that you heard, it was in the chapter. Give me some notes I can use.
Jeremy, where do you want to start?
Did we talk about the Jay Fredkin's interview that he did in the set? We did. We talked about that, right? So
The AMA, you mean?
yeah, no, it wasn't the AMA. It was he did a thing for Dragon Con, or sorry, was it Dragon Con? What's it called?
Jordan Con.
we did that and that last when we did the last kind of news drop, it was about the What Up video and that kind of the Jordan Con news-ish.
Yeah, so the guy from What Up, he also thought it was the same thing. He had a couple of different ideas, and he came to the conclusion that it's where they're going to test the accepted. So
Probably, I would think so too.
he's pretty good about stuff like that too, and he agreed with me, so that means he's right. So
Okay, the consensus is in.
yeah. So then, do you want to talk about the writer's strike first, or do you want to talk about that leaked video?
Let's get that bummer shit out of the way, and then we'll talk about the leaked video of possibly Landfear.
So Hollywood writers are on strike, starting last week, I think it was.
Yeah, like last Monday, I think Monday or something like that.
Yeah, so there's a lot of productions have shut down, and so Wheel of Time season 2 most likely is completely done, so that shouldn't be an issue unless there's some editing, and then those editors decide to, they're not going to do anything as well, which sometimes they do that out of solidarity.
Well, that's kind of happening, so I'm a little worried about that.
Yeah, so it might push that back, and that happens, but it's definitely going to delay season 3. Well, hopefully it'll delay season 3. If they decide to just keep on going with no writers or no, what do you do? You have to have some type of person writing.
You just make heroes after season 2.
Yeah, that's true, right?
They've got to have a chunk of 3 done. I would imagine they've got 4 to 6 episodes written for season 3, if not all.
They're
8.
already filming, so I would say that they're probably mostly mapped out.
Yeah.
I'm worried about what they said about, I was watching the Wada video, John, shout out. He was saying that, because of all the COVID stuff, they had to rewrite so much shit in the first season that hopefully they won't have to deal with that kind of stuff now, but that it's probably mostly written if they're starting to shoot it, and that if they have to rewrite things, then they could get into trouble. Or like you said, with solidarity with as far as if the, there's unions and guilds for, key grips and everything else. So who knows if they decide that they're going to stand in solidarity with the writers, then nothing's going to get done. So everybody's going to be kind of stuck in the loop, out of the loop, I guess.
Yes. And so Wheel of Time is cursed again for a second season and maybe third. So the last writer strike was, that's when all the reality TV shows started coming around because they were like, oh, well, we don't have writers. So they'll just put these
idiots on TV,
white trash morons on television.
Oh, cool. So Who Wants to Be a Blade Master will be
and
on.
then you have the Kardashians.
No, Who Wants to Be a Blade Master?
And then the follow-up show, oops, I killed a Blade Master.
Well, first we need a Blade Master.
That's true.
Hosted by Alex Trebek.
Oh, R.I.P. Too soon.
Dude, he's the best game show host ever, dude.
Alex Trebek is the Dragon Reborn. Everyone knows that.
No, he's the Winter Dragon. Okay, so do you want to talk about what they were saying about episode counts?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you watch this too,
No,
Des?
I haven't seen. And this is all.
He didn't, I'm sure of it. Otherwise, he would have texted us and been like, what the fuck?
Get real happy, Des. Get real happy and get ready for this disappointment.
This is why I wanted to do this. And then, so I was watching the show and the What Up video. I hate to be basic. He's the best news source.
Really is.
Of them all.
Hey, we don't have a show to watch. I'm fine recapping What Up.
Yeah.
So, season 2 is 8 episodes based, basically 1 hour each. Like Amazon bases all their show on metrics, like there's a certain amount of explosions or, whatever, big events per episode or per, many hours. And basically Lord of the Rings has fucked us a little bit because their completion percentage was like, 36% or something, 37% on people who started the show and they did not finish it. I think Watts was like closer to 60, maybe more. I think he didn't talk about it, but I
don't think he ever gave us the number. Yeah, I don't think he ever gave the number.
But I'm guessing, I've heard rumors of it, it's done much better than the Rings of Power. And so he has some inside sources, I believe, on Amazon that are kind of like, they're kind of floating the idea of maybe only doing 6 episodes for the Rings of Power because they want people to finish it. And they're like, well, if that's the metric, they may shift Wheel of Time to that too. But probably if that happens, we'll get more seasons.
Well, no, it's a possibility.
Hopefully.
It's a possibility.
Because he was saying, like if we were to go 8, he said season 2 is going to be 8 for sure. Season 3 is going to be 8 for sure. 4, they don't know. 5, they don't know. But he's like, the good news is they're already planning 4 and 5, but how many episodes is it going to be? How long are they going to be? He says, I don't see how you could do this in they were planning 8 seasons and then start doing only 6 episodes. He goes, I don't see how you can do it without really, really cutting it down. So maybe we get 10 seasons of 6 episodes because they really want people to finish. But it's like, you know what? If it's a good show, I mean, how many episodes did Heroes have it's like 22 in the second season or some shit? There's lots of shows that have way more than 8 is my point, and people watch them if it's good.
Not anymore. I mean, Heroes was the last gasp of network 22 episode seasons.
Walking Dead started to have 16 episodes and they'd break them into 2 parts of a season. So I guess that's 8 episodes a season. So
if what is, a top 10 show in the world in 5 seasons, then we'll get 2.
It's done really well, though, already on Amazon. If you read it, it did better than Rings of Power. It's done better than some other things that are out there. So
I think it has the ability to be great, but they better fucking get to it.
I think Randy Jeffcoat has mismanaged it a little bit, I mean, obviously they've had some tough shit with COVID, but it's like, dude, get creative, man. That's your job. You got to get it back on track. I mean, of course, it's easier to, I'm sitting here in the woods on my couch saying it, but, everybody can armchair quarterback. You don't know what they're actually dealing with, and they did have one of their main characters leave the show. But I just feel like, dude, like you really don't have any idea when it's going to come out yet?
Yeah.
Like you've got, I mean, fucking Judykins is on Twitter enough. Judy Bloom. That's the name.
There you go. I like it.
Judy Bloomkins is on Twitter enough.
Not Blumpkin.
To where, Judy Blumpkins is on Twitter enough to where, like, he's got to see the community is very vociferous and very prevalent and everybody's going fucking nuts, dude. They want to know something. And if you could even ballpark it right now, I mean, the fan base is fucking thirsty, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm nothing. I'm want it so bad and I'm nothing compared to some people.
Cause that's when, and yeah, hindsight is 2020. Cause obviously at some point they're like, okay, let's take as long as we need to make season 2 the shit. but it's like, how about you just get 6 episodes out in the next 15 months?
Yeah, can you not maybe release an episode a week for the next 6 weeks and finish the last 2?
Yeah.
Or release 4 and then wait a month and release the other 4.
Yeah.
Well, I think if they could, they would.
I know. That's what scares me.
I don't think they would. I don't think they would, though. Like, Amazon is very much trying to be like, this is our this month. This is our this month. This is our this month. Like, they would never fuck up whatever.
Everything is data and metrics with them. Everything.
And they don't want to muddy that with a different show. Like, if they've got a show that they've been advertising that's going to be their main show for 6 months, they're not going to drop Wheel of Time in the middle of that.
They've got their formula and they, their algorithm formula, and they stick to it, whether it's making a show or releasing it, or like they have their plan. It's just, it might not be what you want.
Yeah, I'm all for if they do shorter seasons and more seasons, that in the end will give us more episodes. Totally fine with that. But if all they're looking at is finishing metrics, that's just you're applying math to a creativity problem. This is English, and you're trying to do money,
and that's bad. You're applying math to art. Yeah. I mean, you have to have the budget. I get that. That's part of show business. But
and I know we talk about like, okay, this is 15 books, like it should be 200 episodes. Never gonna happen. It's just throw that the fuck out. Like, just map out a 40 episode arc. Make it 5 or 6 seasons. Maybe it'll be short. There'll be some shit in the middle that they cut out. Big bummer. But like, I think the big metric they need to figure out is finish the series. That's the metric you need to come up with. Like, if this...
Right. They need to finish it or we never will.
Yeah.
I would say more than finish the series, let's make a good series that everyone wants to finish. The reason that the people stopped watching the Lord of the Rings show was it wasn't good. That's why. I was part of this 63% that didn't finish. I watched 2 episodes and I was like, oh, it's it looks good, but it didn't grab me. And I might go back and finish it.
But see, the problem with that, though, is everybody has an opinion about how the Lord of the Rings should go. Half of the Wheel of Time audience is people who've never heard of the fucking books and will never pick up the books. And those are the people you got to keep on board if there's any hope of finishing this. Like, doesn't matter how rabid the fandom is, it's not big enough to handle it all on our own.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I agree. You got to make it good. It's got to be entertaining. And if you want the ultimate engagement, make 1-minute episodes. Everybody will watch it to the end. Okay. You got 100% engagement. People, I mean, you're not going to make any money that way.
We made 1,000 1-minute episodes for season 3.
Yeah. That's how you want to do it. Do it.
It doesn't matter if I make 20-minute Thank the Light episodes or 2-hour Thank the Light episodes. I get the same hit either way.
Right. Exactly.
If I released a 10-minute Thank the Light episode every day,
yeah,
my numbers will go through the roof.
Content, baby. Churning out content.
Churn and burn, baby. Churn and burn. No, I was just going to say, I watched that Lord of the Rings show. I probably would like to go back and watch it. It just didn't grab me right away. Now, if you're talking about the movies grabbed me. Those were very good. And I'm sure that everyone else was thinking the same thing. Maybe it was just because it's a TV show, it's a little slower, but I don't mind slow.
Well, why is it so long?
Well, I don't mind long stuff, and I don't mind slow TV shows either. I mean,
no.
What's the last movie? That last movie was long and slow, but I still love it. The Return of the King, that one was long and very slow, especially at the end.
Yeah, that's true.
But still people watched it. One of the best picture. You can still make it long and kind of slow.
I have watched those movies so many times while harvesting weed. Because, it's something that you got to do all at once. It takes like 3 days. You got to have something.
How do you watch a television?
You sit down and you just put it in the background.
Okay. I thought you meant like chopping it down, like out in the field or in the greenhouse. Or
I live in the city, dummy.
Well, okay.
It's called guerrilla growing.
You grow it indoors?
Jesus. Your cousin used to be a criminal. Okay?
Okay.
I don't know if you knew this. That's why I don't come home.
Funny thing.
Spoiler alert.
Nothing's changed about Justin. Society changed around him.
Yeah, he's just not a criminal now.
Also, there was an interview with Harriet Robert Jordan's Eleanor Rigby's widow, and she kind of let something slip about the fall, and she seemed flustered kind of after I haven't watched it. I just was watching some analyses, but they were saying, she kind of let something slip about the fall, and then she seemed kind of flustered, like, I wasn't supposed to say that type of thing. So could be, showmanship, could be something, but I would assume how much later can it fucking be?
Well, and the fall is anywhere from September to early December.
Right. So if it came out, when the first one came out exactly 2 years after it, it would be right around December. So,
which, you know what? I can get on board with. Just say it.
Just tell us.
Just say it. Give us hey. So yeah. So is that the happy news? The fall? Do we have more happy news?
We have way more happy news, Jeremy.
Oh, awesome.
Wait,
Kick it off, man.
what am I supposed to say? Hold on. What's the happy news?
You watched the Landfear video, right?
Oh, yes. So,
Throw a little background for Landfear real quick.
well, okay. I'm trying to, I guess
For people who have only watched the show.
yes. If you've only watched the show, there is a character who's going to be coming in this season who is also one of the Forsaken, like Ishmael, who was in the first season.
Wait. Stop.
Okay, sorry.
Landfear is one of the Forsaken, the 13 Aes Sedai who dedicated their lives to the Shadow during the War of the Shadow. Her name is still used to frighten children into behaving as they should. It is said that she waits for children who steal.
Really?
There you go.
So we're definitely sure she's going to be in the second season. She might be under a different name though, so watch out for her. But then there was a leaked video that was online kind of showing her walking, a person who we think is her, walking through what we think is the Foregate, which is a...
Do you think it's the Foregate?
I kind of do. Yeah, because everything's made out of wood. It's kind of ramshackle and ran down. The Foregate is there's a walled city called Kyrian, and outside of the walled city is kind of where the poor people live.
It's a wooden tent city, Des, like we have in Seattle. A lot more fun though. There's music and drinking
and people eating fire and juggling, and it's basically like a carnival every day of the year until it catches on fire.
Sort of like Golden Gardens on a Friday in the summer, up here in Seattle, fire eaters and,
There was that again. We saw some stuff that was possibly leaked about her, and saw her in her costume. Looked pretty good. Hopefully someday we'll get to see this actual episode.
Someday. So I figure that means that we're likely to see Celine Landfear this season, at least in one of those or both of the. I was almost kind of hoping that it was like Falm when she comes walking in when Rand's wounded, and is like kind of walks into the place. Like that's her walking to where Rand is and then walks in like.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool too. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you're probably right. I think it's probably the Foregate. I'd love to be original and say, oh, I think it's this for this, but I'm not that smart for one. And number two, like watching dude's video, it was just kind of like, yeah, it makes sense that it'd be Kareen.
Or if it's anything like the first season, it'll be something they completely made up that's completely not associated with the books and won't be nearly as cool as we think it is.
This is Shinar. God damn it.
And Nynaeve's doing it.
I swear to God, I lay awake at night thinking about Nynaeve taking that scene from Matt. I'm fucking sick about it. I'm going to fucking punch my dick inside out.
When I listened to that episode, when I said that and you lost your mind.
I was so mad. And I was like, you motherfucker.
Since we don't have any writers, we're just going to put everyone on front of the camera. Just let it riff for a while. See what happens.
Yeah. It's going to be like Curb Your Enthusiasm. Here's your premise, guys. Okay. You wave your fingers about.
Basically, whose what is it anyway? Do you think that, so Des, this is something that you've come across in the books, when Rand is coming into Kareen, he's with Celine and Huron and Loyal, he sees a statue buried in the ground, or a part of what seems to be a statue buried in the ground, correct? It's just the hand and the spear coming out.
Sphere.
And it is
Sphere.
The sphere and the smear on my bagel.
Be with you.
The merchandising. That's where the real money is.
Lunchbox.
Yogurt. I hate yogurt.
I need Wheel of Time to be bigger so we can get some fun. I want more Wheel of Time Lego sets. Like, I want.
Do any exist at all?
No,
Son of a bitch.
There's no merchandising for Wheel of Time. None, right?
not yet.
No, there's none. That's why so many of the people like us.
You know why there's no merchandising, right? Amazon has no way to sell any merchandising.
I don't know how they do it. It's not like they have some built-in system where people could just click on a thumbnail while they're watching the video and buy stuff.
Wouldn't that be nice? Oh,
I mean,
man.
that's a crazy idea, right? We should patent that.
We got to get Target involved, or this is never going to happen.
What I was getting at, do you think that we will see the Choden Call or, a part of it buried in the ground at some point this season?
I would say if you don't see it, then it won't be in the rest of the show. That's my opinion.
Deep cut.
Do you think they'll maybe just go with the access key? It's so powerful, just this one. It's so powerful, and then they'll kind of explain.
You could do that.
Oh, it's connected to something else, but you never really see it.
So they do talk about Saw Angriel, and there's the scene where Rand and Nynaeve have to use them to do something spectacular.
Do they use Kalendor during? They use Kalendor during that, right?
No, they use the access keys.
Oh, Nynaeve.
Somebody else is using Kalendor during that.
Oh,
Narishma.
right. What's Narishma doing though? He's not a part of it, is he? Was he part of it too?
No, remember they have to guard. They have to guard him. Remember, there's like all the people guard him, like Olivia and
Nynaeve has the female Choden Call.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Good stuff. Good stuff, Des. Trust me, you're gonna be happy with the books, even if you hate the show.
Yeah, if you ever get to that point, you're gonna be like, "That's pretty cool." My wife and I and my daughter were all riding in the car, and we were going to like a farmer's market in town. And so my daughter and I are talking about the Wheel of Time because we're both listening to the same audiobooks.
Yes.
And my wife just looks over at me and goes, "You're loving this right now, aren't you?" I'm so loving this right. This is like my favorite thing in the world. And the other day, she said something really cool, and she said, and I never thought about this, but it's totally true. She said, Robert Jordan writes women so well. He's like, most authors don't. And she said, he will write women and you can tell by their dialogue who it is that's speaking. You don't even have to, it doesn't have to say like, Nynaeve was thinking that.
I have said that on this show. Your wife is smart.
It's not my wife, it's my daughter. But my wife is a genius. My daughter is a genius as well.
I have ADD.
But
sorry.
no, you're right. Just by, if someone just read it and didn't say Nynaeve said, Egwene said, so-and-so said.
You could tell, if you read just a little bit, you could see like, oh, by the way this person thinks, the way the person talks, this is who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she made a fish reference.
The verbiage gives so much context. Yeah, the verbiage gives so much context to the character, for sure. He does it with men, too, but it's just like most male writers are shitty about writing females. I've said that. Like, he writes women very well.
Totally.
Strong women, especially.
Yeah.
And if you notice, too, if you read a lot of female writers, they have a tough time writing guys most of the time. It's so when you read a book that's written and you can get both sides.
That's all I got for news. I wish I had more.
I'm sorry. Between my echo and my frustration.
No, it's cool. Let's put a pin in this one and say it's done and then move on to the next one. And
Yep. I'll put the ending of this recording at the end of this. And thank the light for listening to our podcast. Please rate us, like us, tell a friend about our show. Thank the light. Check us out on Twitter. We are Wolf Brothers at Parse Ailman. That is Wolf Brothers at Parse Ailman. Send us questions and comments and anything you want to discuss, your guesses for season 2, what might be in it, when and if it happens. Looking for another great podcast to listen to while you wait for the next episode of Thank the Light? Stay right here on this feed and go back a couple episodes in between season 2, episode 16 and season 2, episode 17. There is a Sounds Awesome Network extravaganza where I got all of the hosts of all of my podcasts together to talk about their show and about themselves and about so much poop talk. It's amazing. You'll love it. Justin and Jeremy, of course, appear on that show. Not for long enough. I know that. I will figure out a way to keep all the hosts on longer. With Zoom, it's kind of hard to navigate 11 feeds all at once. But it's a really great show. And your next favorite podcast is going to be on that. And tell me you guys loved, I know Justin did because he already texted me, Steadfast in 2, Electric Boogaloo.
I was like, fuck yeah, dude.
That was awesome.
It's like our titles for a minute were pretty like, kind of what we're talking about centric. I like the fun ones a lot better.
Well, you know what? You know why though, Justin?
Why?
I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna shoot myself in the head for saying it. It's for SEO.
Search engine optimization.
Thank you. Search engine optimization. So when people are just like Googling random shit about the Wheel of Time and our title is a Wheel of Time word, then we might pop up on someone's Google that wasn't even looking for us just because they're looking for Wheel of Time shit.
So the episode that we talked about the Angryals and I wanted you to name it Assholes and Angryals was not a good search engine one.
It's got Angryals in it. Actually, that
it would have been funny, I thought.
That would have worked. I'm sorry I forgot that one. But I bet in the next 300 episodes, we'll find a reason to call one Assholes and Angryals. And on that note, just remember, the hedgehog
is Ron Jeremy.
And he will put you to sleep.
I win again, Luce Theron.
My water is yours.
I am not average. I am not ordinary. I am a masterpiece. You know I do it for me. I am not perfect. No, that's imaginary. But I'm a masterpiece. You know I do it for me. And all my colors and paints, all my lines and my shapes, every move that I make, I am not basic. It's self-explanatory. I am a masterpiece. You know I do it for me. Just the way I like it. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I have been screaming all of these things at you.
Mixed and edited by Desmond McNeese for We Mixed It, LLC. Go to whatsoundsawesome.com.
You can cut that out.